Hey friends, Ash here with Gents with another fragrance review. I'm not back in the lair, I'm still outside because this fresh air is just good for you. Or I guess, good for me. Today I'm taking a look at a new release from the House of Ray and Tradition, Insurrection 2 Pure Extreme. I saw that Cubano's done a video on this fragrance. I've not watched that video yet though. I don't want to be swayed one way or the other. He actually uploaded it the day that this one arrived. And I've been trying to stay away from info on this one as much as possible. Like always, we're gonna take a look at the presentation on this fragrance. Then I'm gonna break it down, let you know what I think it smells like because this is a clone. Let you know whether it's a good one or a bad one. And let you know whether this is something you should drop your money on. So let's go ahead and jump in on Insurrection 2 Pure Extreme. First off, let's check out this presentation. Ray and Tradition is a clone house that's actually known for having a pretty good presentation on their Insurrection line of fragrances. First off, the box. Has a dark blue coloration. You can see here down in the corner, Pure Extreme. That's the only thing on the front of the box. On the spine of the box it says Insurrection 2, so it ends up looking like a book. We have some ingredient information on the back, and then this Ray and Tradition symbol both on the top of the box and the bottom. The box has a pull tab with that Ray and Tradition logo or symbol right here. Give that a pull, and the fragrance sits inside here. It came with this little card, but I don't think that's really important. Then your bottle sits inside this foam cutout. You can lay your bottle on top of this ribbon and then just pull the ribbon up to get it out of the foam easier. For anybody that's familiar with the Insurrection fragrances, it's the exact same bottle, just with a different color gradient. It has kind of a dark gray blue color at the top, goes down to clear at the bottom. So here we've got the bottle. They have a really unique shape. When you see these, you immediately know what they are. And for a $20 fragrance, it really looks fantastic. Got that Ray and Tradition logo on top of the cap. It says For-Man Paris across the cap. The cap does click into place, and then you have the same design there on top of the atomizer. And here's the bottom of the bottle with sticker. One thing with my bottle is it was actually banging around on the inside of this box. It was packaged up really nicely. I mean, it wasn't packaged improperly, but this bottle did get beat up a little bit in transit, which I'll show you here. It's actually right along here. It has a lot of scuff marks. Ultimately, that doesn't really matter though. It doesn't affect what's on the inside. So I want to touch on a couple of things here really quickly. When I first saw a picture of this bottle, I was pretty sure that it was going to be either an Elysium or a Dior Sauvage clone. Just because Ray and Tradition is a well-known clone house, they've already cloned Aventus and, strangely enough, Pure Havane and Spice Bomb. So I knew they'd clone designers and niche fragrances both. And when you look at the coloration of this bottle versus Dior Sauvage, it's pretty similar, as you can see here. And then Rage Parfums Elysium has been a fragrance that's gotten a little bit of hype in the community as a really versatile compliment-getting niche fragrance that a lot of people have their hearts set on. And it also comes in a blue gradient bottle. Admittedly, this is a little bit darker, but I thought maybe it was a clone of Elysium. It turns out though, it is a clone of neither of those fragrances. And I've got to say before I jump into the fragrance that Ray and Tradition is such a weird clone house to me. They have fragrances like this for 20 bucks that have a really nice presentation. It looks professional. It doesn't look like a really cheap knockoff. Like if you see this bottle in somebody's collection and you know nothing about fragrances, you would probably think, oh, that's probably a pretty expensive fragrance. It's got a metal plaque. It's got a gradient, it's got a unique look to it. But then a lot of Ray and Tradition's fragrances are actually just really cheap dollar store looking knockoffs. Like if you go to Amazon.com and search Ray and Tradition, it will pull up a bunch of fragrances of theirs. And they have knockoffs of Aqua de Jo on there that look just so cheap. They have bottles that look like knockoffs of Mont Blanc Legend. And then they have stuff like this. And interestingly enough, they actually reached out to me a year ago and said that they were going to be releasing niche fragrances. $200 niche fragrances by Ray and Tradition. They were going to be using fire-blasted crystal bottles, for example. They sent me all the information on them, and I talked about them on This Week in Fragrance, like I said, a year ago, and then they just never came out. So I guess they just decided to do away with that and keep on with the clones. So let's talk about this fragrance. Finally, right? It opens up with a citrus-heavy opening. It smells to me mainly like bergamot with a little bit of orange. And when you spray this on, you can tell pretty much immediately what it's trying to copy. And to me, it makes no sense at all. But this is a clone of Aventus. And they already have a clone of Aventus, which is this one, Insurrection 2 Pure. They're going the pineapple vintage route. So this is their first Aventus clone. This is their second Aventus clone. So yeah, this opens up like Aventus, only if Aventus were very bergamot heavy. It comes off a little bit dusty in the opening once that bergamot settles down, which only takes a couple of minutes. And then it has a woody base underneath that. The woodiness here is likely coming from birch, like in Aventus. though obviously this is not going to come across overly natural because it is ultimately a $20 fragrance. I actually wore this one side by side with Elysium just to make sure that it didn't maybe have some similarities, you know, like maybe they had done an Aventus mixed with Elysium kind of hybrid thing, but it's not even remotely close. Insurrection 2 Pure Extreme is missing so much from Elysium, it's almost not even worth mentioning. Insurrection 2 Pure Extreme, in my opinion, is missing some freshness or some crispness off the top. It has that initial blast of bergamot, which only lasts for a couple of minutes, and then it settles into this vanilla and woody kind of fragrance, and pretty much stays that way for the rest of the life of the scent. If there's black currant in here, there's not much because there's not very much tartness in here. It doesn't smell bad off the top. It just smells like it's missing something, and it pretty quickly becomes just this dusty vanilla that's dense but doesn't come across rich or warm. It ends up smelling cheap. And then smoky woods, which is probably, again, the birch. I should mention that there are no official notes that I can find on this at this point, so this is just going off of what I smell. I looked up a couple of websites that were selling this fragrance, but they have no information at all. Once it dries down, it's just a cheap smelling vanilla with woods, musk, and moss. That's what I pick up. And again, a bit of that smokiness, if you want to call it that. Ultimately, it's like a vanilla heavy, slightly smoky take on Aventus. It's like they took Insurrection 2 Pure and made it much more based on the vanilla, made the opening very bergamot heavy, even though again, it doesn't last long, and then just had kind of a generic Aventus-like woods, musk, and musk dry down. There could potentially be a little bit of ambroxan in here as well, but the vanilla is the main thing to me, and it's not a great smelling vanilla. That sweetness that you get early on from the bergamot dies away very quickly, and like I said, it really feels like it's missing something in the opening, some extra freshness, some pop, some crispness, something, and it's just not really a unique fragrance because it's yet another Aventus clone. And like I said, they already have an Aventus clone. They just took it and amped up a couple of notes that weren't as prominent in the original Insurrection 2 Pure. And I really find myself asking myself, why is this a thing? It's been a long time since Ray and Tradition has come out with a new fragrance in the Insurrection line. Then they finally do, and they just release another Aventus. Not even a particularly good one. To my nose, there's no similarity to Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel or any of the blue fragrances that I thought this may be copying. Like I mentioned already, there's really no similarity at all to Elysium. Elysium has a good amount of ambroxan, apple, vetiver, citrus, and juniper. Most of those notes you're not going to find here, other than a little bit of citrus in the opening and potentially some ambroxan through the mid and dry down. You don't even need to talk about quality. Elysium is 10,000 times higher quality than this is. The citrus in Elysium really jumps off your skin. It sparkles, it's very bright, fresh, and then has that really nice clean vetiver in the base. The quality of this one feels low, so the notes come across a little bit dampened. It's almost like you're listening to music in a room that has like those egg crate sound dampeners on the walls. So you can still hear the music, it's just not coming across very crisply. It's like that. And as far as Sauvage, there's no similarities there. Sauvage is well known for the multitude of different peppers that it uses and how it uses them. Black pepper, Sichuan pepper, pink pepper, as well as the bergamot and the metallic ambroxan note. None of that is here. Bleu de Chanel, especially with its grapefruit and incense, none of that here either. It really truly is just another uninspired Aventus clone. Another negative here is going to be the performance, which off my skin is not good. No exaggeration, we're talking 3 to 4 hours of longevity here, which is really, really poor, especially when you consider this is extreme. Projection is good for maybe 45 minutes. It's really not strong. Surprisingly so, actually. In terms of when you would wear this fragrance, pretty much anytime you try to pull off Aventus. So it's gonna be daytime, nighttime, almost any season. Though again, it does come off much cheaper than actual Aventus, and it does come off cheaper than better clones out there. I think you're gonna be better off with L'Aventure by Al Haramain or Club de Nuit Intense Man. As far as the original Insurrection 2 Pure, is it better than that one? I think opening wise, Extreme smells better than Pure. It doesn't smell as fresh as Pure does. Like I said, it's a little bit denser initially. It smells denser, even though it doesn't really project or last. A little heavier with the added vanilla and birch. So ultimately it depends on what you want as to which one of those you like more, the original or Extreme. To me, it's kind of a pointless release. I don't even know why they made it, other than just trying to catch another hype train, catch another Aventus hype train and ride that for some quick initial sales. It's not any better than the existing clones out there. I mean, the presentation here is better. I think this looks better than basically all the Aventus clones as far as just the bottle and how it comes. But if you actually care about how it smells, give it a pass. Maybe I'm gonna take back what I just said. I'm apparently an idiot. This is not a metal plaque. This is just a sticker. So where it says Insurrection 2, this is just a sticker. I noticed just now because it was bowed up, like right here where it curves, it was coming undone and I had to press the sticker back down. So I gave it a hard press back down, and now it's got a part on there that's screwy looking. You can see it right there. I'll be a mother freaker. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, you can see it there. Right, yeah, of course you can. This Insurrection label, for whatever reason, is not on here very well, so I just kind of gave it a little like that with my nail, and it popped right up. So yeah, it's pretty cheap. This is pretty crappy. That's unfortunate. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me and my thoughts on Insurrection 2 Pure Extreme. I say pass. Ooh, careful, careful. I say pass. Don't buy this. It's not a very good clone, and all it is Aventus. It doesn't do anything different. It just makes it vanilla heavy with a little bit of smoky birch. It's no big deal. A little bit of ambroxan in there. Like I said, an overload of bergamot in the opening, but it lasts a couple minutes. There's nothing new here or nothing exciting here. And the performance sucks. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for checking out this failure of a clone. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys again next time.